Good morning, Hatfield family. So lovely to join you this morning for our devotional time. We're busy in a series at the moment on identity, but I just actually thought to read to us today from Luke chapter 17, verses 11 to 19. On the way to Jerusalem, Jesus was passing along between Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered a village, he was met by 10 lepers who stood at a distance. They lifted up their voice, saying, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." When he saw them, he said, "Go and show yourself to the priests." And as they went, they were cleansed. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, he turned back, praising God with a loud voice, and he fell on his face at Jesus' feet, giving him thanks. Now he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus answered, "Were you not 10? Where are the 9? Was no one found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner?" And he said to him, "Rise and go your way. Your faith has made you well." And I've entitled this morning's devotion, Courage, Faith, and Thanks. So Jesus encounters these 10 lepers between these two regions, Galilee and Samaria. And what he finds in amongst these lepers is courage, faith, and a thankful heart. You see, the lepers in those days, they were complete outcasts because their sickness was seen as a punishment from God. It wasn't that they had misfortune, it's that God was punishing them. And so people were afraid. They were afraid. They didn't know what it was that made leprosy contagious. They just saw malformed bodies, desperate people, outcasts of society. And the other thing was, remember, the priests of the day were the men of power. So the priests decided, did you have leprosy or didn't you? Were you clean or unclean? But these lepers, and sometimes I wonder if the Samaritan wasn't maybe the ringleader, when they saw Jesus, they shouted, "Jesus, have mercy on us." And what they did is they saw their need. They had courage to shout and call Jesus' attention towards them. They also had faith, because what Jesus said to them is, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." They were not healed in that moment. They had to go and show themselves to the priests. Okay, these were the same priests that had condemned them in the first place. And sometimes Jesus takes us back to places where we have perhaps been disappointed or hurt or wounded, and that very act of faith is what brings healing to us, often to our hearts. But what's interesting is there was only one. Have you encountered that people just love to think they did it all by themselves? That it's so few and so seldom that actually take the trouble to go back and say thank you. And I don't know why it's so difficult to say thank you, but it just seems to be, at the moment, a reality. But this one shouted his praises to God and said thank you to Jesus, fell on his face. He knew he was broken. He knew he couldn't do it on his own. He knew that Jesus would make the difference in his life. And interestingly enough, he was the foreigner. He was the Samaritan. The others didn't get it. He got it. Very interesting. And then Jesus says, "Rise and go on your way to the Samaritan." And in this place of the Lord, re-establishing our identity in him, he says, "Rise and go on your way. Live with courage. Shout out to the Lord. Live counterculture. Live differently to what's happening around you." And as you do that, you will encounter, as you walk by faith, you will encounter changes. You will be transformed. You will see things differently. And sometimes the Lord will take you back, perhaps to your priests in your life. He will take you back. But as you walk by faith, in this devotional context, that we're using today, there will be healing for you along the way. And let's be the one who comes back to say thank you to those around us that support us, to those that encourage us, to Jesus, to the Lord, who makes all things possible for us to live our lives with courage, with faith, and with thankful hearts. The Lord bless you. Amen.